Hello, this is Dot, and this is going to be my first video, so please excuse any kind of problems with pronunciation, problems with speaking my thoughts plainly, and getting confused in the middle of a sentence. I'm just nervous. This is not a thing that I used to do. I don't do any kind of social media, almost at all. So yeah, I'm a bit nervous. But the first thing I want to mention is the two lovely channels who made me do this. So the first one is the Curated Shelf, who encouraged me multiple times to not to be afraid to share my voice and do a video. And the second one is Sylvain from Sylvain's Deadly Sins, who came up with this wonderful tag. The tag is called 7 decks for Deadly Sins, and when I saw it I just couldn't help myself. I couldn't resist the temptation because the tag seems so fun, so much fun. So let's begin. The first sin is Pride, a deck you purchased or use for flexing. So in general I don't really have any kind of deck that I can flex with. My collection is quite basic. I have only mass market decks. I don't have any kind of independent or out of print decks. I only started to get interested in tarot 2 years ago. So I can show you, I guess, 2 decks. So the first one is a very little flex. I have this Druid Animal Oracle by Philip and Stephanie Cargrom, illustrated by Will Worthington. And this is a little flex because many of you have this deck, but I have the big edition where for every card you get 3 additional stories for every animal. So you can get the pocket edition. I think it's called the Druid Animal Oracle deck or the Druid Animal deck, and the cards are exactly the same. The box looks the same, and I think you can easily get confused which of the editions you are buying. So yes, maybe some of you got the smaller edition by mistake, but I have the big one. And the second deck is kind of a how do I call it? A very unique deck, I guess. Maybe a deck that probably almost no one has, at least this edition of a deck, because this is the Polish edition of the Cosmic Tarot by Norbert Roche. No, Norbert Losch. Norbert Losch? Sorry. So here is the edition you can buy today. It's from the AGM Urania, but I have an edition which was added to the magazine, women's magazine Claudia. It was a Polish magazine. I think it was a Polish edition of a German magazine that was being published in the late 90s. And my mom liked to buy this magazine at the time, and one of the issues had an article about tarot or maybe other forms of divination. I'm not sure, I don't remember, I don't have this issue, but I have the deck. So she bought the issue, and the magazine gave an opportunity to cut out the cards from pages. So this is just paper from a magazine. It's very thin and flexible, of course, but I don't think the deck is usable at all. I haven't used it even once for this, how much is it? 20 plus years. The deck just spent in the box at my home, at my family home. Honestly, I just forgot about it. So here I have a comparison with the deck you can purchase from the AGM, and apart from the, of course, difference in cardstock, this magazine edition consists only of the major arcana. There is no minor arcana, and there are also some small differences, like, of course, the names are in Polish, and the numbers on the cards are at the top border, and in here we have them on the images themselves. But I think the print quality sorry, the print quality is quite nice. The colors are nice, the details are visible, the line work is good. And the other difference is that in the AGM deck, Justice is placed at number 8, and this Polish edition we have it at number 11, and also the Fool is placed at number 22. So this is the Claudia edition of the Major Arcana from the Cosmic Tarot by Norbert Losch. So this was my deck for the Sin of Pride. Next we have the Sin of Greed, a deck you don't share with anyone, only use for yourself. So for this prompt I chose Margaret Peterson Tarot. Well, I don't have anything against other person using this deck. If, for example, my friend came to visit and wanted to use the deck from themselves, I wouldn't oppose it. But I don't think it's possible, or maybe, well, it is possible, but I don't think it's not the place of this deck to be used to read for others. Because the images, as you can see, are very abstract. Well, especially in the minor arcana. In the major arcana, I think, yes, in the major arcana, they are more scenic, but still, it is a deck that I think shines the best if you yourself take one card, spend some time with it, maybe imagine yourself going into the image, kind of a journey into the image, and look at all the small details, or maybe focus on your feelings, your thoughts that come to you. I don't think it's well suited to a regular kind of card pulls. It's like a deck for meditation, I think, the best. Meditation and reflection. So, yes, I wouldn't use this deck for a different person. For me, it would be something like trying to... well, I could use traditional meanings with the deck and just say that 5 of coins means, for example, lack of resources. But yes, it would be something like the deck wouldn't shine, wouldn't show its glory, wouldn't show the best qualities that it has. It would be similar to wearing a tuxedo or an evening gown to clean the barn. So yes, this was the Margaret Peterson Tarot from AGM Urania. Next is the Sin of Wrath, a deck you're angry at. So here, where is it? Okay, so here I have a few decks to show. So first of all, I have this deck, the Housewife's Tarot, and the Touchstone Tarot. So the Touchstone Tarot is by Cat Black. Oh, where is it? Here, Cat Black. And the Housewives is by Paul Kepler and Jude Buffon. So these decks for me had a rough start. So the Touchstone Tarot was, I won't show the cards because this isn't the decks that I really chose for this prompt, but for the Touchstone Tarot it was like the deck was a bit mean to me, and the Housewives Tarot, when I went with my first flip of the deck, there were some images that I didn't like, and in the first days, maybe a week or two, the deck was showing me only those images. And also there are other issues that kind of maybe not make me angry, but make me think of things that make me angry, if I can say it like this. So these were the two decks that made me a bit angry at the beginning. But the thing that makes me angry the most in decks are any kind of technical issues that make the deck less enjoyable to use, I guess. So this is things like bad cardstock, printing errors, spelling mistakes, etc. So I have Osho Zen Tarot, but this is the Polish edition. It was published by KOS. So the illustrations and text is by Deva Padma, and some text is from Osho's writings. And in this deck, the cards are like cardboard. Honestly, this is like cereal box cardboard. It's very stiff, no flex. You can't riffle shuffle it. You can overhand, but because it's stiff, the edge is unpleasant and it almost hurts my hands. So I don't like to use it. Also, when I got the deck, not only the cardstock was bad, but also the edges were badly cut out. It looked like the deck wasn't cut, but like someone torn it from a bigger piece of sheet, a bigger piece of matrix. So I had to use the nail file on every edge of the card because there were like tiny bits sticking out and hurting my hands. So I'm even considering buying the English edition now because I'm so disappointed with this Polish edition. So this is the thing that angers me, but the worst offender in my collection are decks which have any kind of errors or mistakes that, for me, should be noticed in the proofreading of the first print run. So things like spelling mistakes, because the cardstock is a deliberate choice of the publisher, but errors should be noticed before you put the product for the consumers to buy. So I have two to show you. This is the Nature Spirit Tarot by, sorry, I don't have much space here, Jean-Marie Hersel. And in this deck, this is the mass market edition from Bear & Company. And in this printing, the cards have framing issue. So if you look at the bottom border and the top one, the bottom is much thinner than the top. It doesn't bother me that much. I can use the deck. That was the thing that I noticed in my first flip through. So, but honestly, I don't think that. I think that the publisher should correct the printing. Maybe it was corrected. I bought the deck in the first printing, so maybe now it was corrected, and now the you have to check the flip throughs, maybe some recent ones. Maybe it was, maybe now if you buy it, the images are positioned correctly. And the, oh my god, it's so many decks around me. I don't know where to put them. The worst offender is this one, Crystal Connections Message Cards by Adam Barolet, and this was published by the Animal Dreaming Publishing. Oh, you can see Animal Dreaming Publishing, and this is because this is the crystal deck that I was looking for. There are beautiful decks that have photographs of crystals, very stark photographs. The minerals are under strong artificial light, and there's a clear background, maybe white or maybe dark, but I don't like them. For me, they feel like an exhibition piece, maybe as if the stone is placed in some kind of glass cabinet, or maybe even a table in an examination room in a doctor's office, or maybe some kind of laboratory. So they feel quite sterile and maybe a clinical setting or museum setting. But in this deck, the photographs were taken in some nature scenery, nature environment, and every crystal has its own background. I think the photographs are very beautiful. I really wish that the publishing company did a good job on it, because as you can see, there is this thin border around every image, and in some of them, like here in the malachite, the border is very off center and it's very jarring, and as you can see, for example, with the septarian nodule, the border is quite okay. If every card looked like that, I could work with it. Well, I still work with this deck, but when I see a card like this one, I notice the border, and I don't like it that this is that this deck looks like this when it is so beautiful. So I'm not sure if this is the error on the company, on the printing company part, or maybe the graphic designers did something poor when the deck was prepared for printing. I don't know how this system works. So yeah, I'm a little sad and angry that this kind of a deck, because I haven't seen any other deck like this. I wish it was printed better. Okay, so these were my decks for the Scene of Greed. No, for the scene. Where are we? For the Scene of Wrath. Sorry, I got confused. Now is the Scene of Envy, a deck you wanted because other people have it. That was an easy choice. I chose Tarot of the Divine by Yoshitani, and last year when the deck was coming into print, there was a big hype around it. I saw many people rave about it. They were getting really excited and happy and joyous, and it was all over YouTube. So I also got excited and wanted to get a copy, and I pre-ordered it. I was happy that the discount was very nice. I think I got it at half of the price that you have to pay now for the deck. So I was very excited to get it, but When the day came and the deck came into my hands, I realized that I'm not sure if I even like it. I don't know what's wrong with me because people love it. I think no, okay, not everyone loves it, but many people love it. I don't have anything specific against the images. I have some issues with the way that you have to buy the second guidebook to fully understand the deck. I don't have this one, and I'm not really keen on buying another book, which is big and quite expensive, and another cost that I have to pay. So yeah, I don't know what's wrong with me. And other people love it, and I wish I was so happy about it, and I even didn't consider to give it a go. I will at some time. I will give it a try and work with it for some time to maybe get to know it, and maybe then I will start to like it. But at this moment, I'm not attracted to it. It just sits on my shelf, and I'm envious of others who got what they wished for when they pre-ordered the deck. Okay, so this was Envy, a deck you wanted because other people have it. So our next prompt is for Lust, a deck you like for aesthetic reasons. So this was a bit difficult for me because, well, I buy decks which are aesthetically pleasing for me. I don't buy decks which I find unattractive in one way or another. So maybe I could show many of my decks, but Sylvain in his video focused on the sexy part of the Lust, and he showed a very sexy deck, and I also went this way. So I could show you again the Cosmic Tarot. Sorry for the sniffing. The Cosmic Tarot, where, as you can see, the code cards show movie stars. There is kind of Hollywood glamour around some of the pages. Other images, not pages. Other images look like a scene from a movie or from a ballet, or the people look like dancers, or maybe like it's set from a theater. So in this way, I think this deck has this kind of sexy vibe. I don't know if I'm explaining this well, but maybe the way that body is exposed, or in the foreground, how it's positioned on the images. So this could be a good fit for this prompt. But then I looked at my collection and realized that a different deck is more is a better fit for this prompt for me, and this is the Enchanted Tarot by Amy Zerner and Monty Farber, and not because the people in it are sexy or that images are sexy, but because the aesthetics of the images is very pleasant for me. I really love this kind of artwork, this kind of how do we call it, mixed, not mixed media, but yarn or fabric artwork, because Amy Zerner, when she created this deck, she sewn tapestries, and she used a different kind of fabric techniques, different kind of fabric applique. So she used patterned fabrics, she used embroidery, lace, like the previous image, there was lace. There is this kind of how is this called in English? Ribbon, stripe, you know, this kind of ornaments. So so for me, as a person who loves very much fabric and yarn art, especially in this kind of collage art of style, this is a very aesthetically pleasing deck. And also there's another reason why I chose this one, and this is because when I think of sex, sex is very touch-oriented activity. So in this deck we have many textures, because every kind of ornament or fabric has a different texture. And of course these are only images, this is not a tapestry, but still when I look at them, my sense of touch gets activated. I guess I can imagine how it would feel to touch the original tapestry. The images look almost 3D for me. And by the way, Candy, if you ever watch this video, I'm a huge fan of your works. So yes, this is the Enchanted Tarot by Amy Zerner and Montefarber for the last scene. Next we have Gluttony, a deck you really didn't need but purchased anyway. And this is an easy one because, well, first of all, almost all of my decks I don't need. I would be happy with having maybe 3 or 4 decks. So every other deck is purchased because I didn't need it. But the deck that I chose for this is the deck that I can't show you because I haven't received it yet. This is the Muse Tarot by Chris Ann. I think it's from Hay House. And the only reason why I bought it is because the deck has a lot of pink, of the color pink. And pink is my favorite color. So I just wanted to have a deck with lots of pink in it. And I don't know if the deck will, if I will like the deck at all, because I'm not sure about the supermodel aesthetic kind of thing. But I like the roses, I like the geometric patterns, all the pink, of course. I like the greens in it. I like the creativity aspect of it. I think, I don't know, I haven't used it at all. So I will have to try it and see if I will only keep it like pink deck or as a usable deck. And by the way, I'm also not sure if this is the deck that I will even like the pink in it, because my preferred pink is like the pink like this. So pinks that are intense and on the warmer side of tone. So I like pinks like the how's it called, millennial pink or bubblegum pink, or any kind of intense fuchsia tones, hot pink. These are the preferred pinks. But I'm not really fan of the pink like the Enchanted Tarot, which we saw earlier. Has pink cards for the hearts suit, but this is cold pink and more on the pastel side, and in Polish we call this pink underwear pink. I don't know if it's baby pink in English, but yeah, this is not the pink that I like, but I appreciate that there's a lot of pink in this deck too. So maybe that is also the reason why this deck appeals to me on the aesthetic side of things. So yeah, I don't have the Muse Tarot to show you, so let's move on to our last scene, and this is the scene of Sloth, a deck you use when you feel lazy. And that was an easy one also because I chose the Everyday Tarot by, let me check, Bridget Esselmont and Eleanor Grosh. And this was the deck that I learned tarot. This is the deck that I feel very comfortable to use. It's an easy one. It's a deck that I almost feel at home. In Polish, we say that for things that feel at home, that it feels like putting on your home slippers. So this deck is like home slippers for me. And what I can say more, it's almost like I don't need to look for the meaning when I look at the card, because with other decks I like to spend some time with a card. I like to look at different details, or maybe imagine what the feeling I get from the card. But here it's like I know the cards so well that when I look at the card, I don't see an image. I immediately see, know the meaning of the card. So it's almost like the card becomes the card is the meaning. The card doesn't need any kind of thinking from me. It's like, how to explain it? It's like the images themselves are words that I can form sentences with. It's like thinking in this thinking in these images, thinking in pictures, thinking in these symbols without needing to think much. Yes, so this is the edition of the well, not edition, but version of the Waite-Smith deck called Everyday Tarot by Bridget Esselmont and Eleanor Grosh. Okay, that's all. Yes, that's all. So thank you everyone for watching, everyone who stayed till the end, because I can see this is going, yes, this is a long video, so sorry for rambling. And thank again the Curated Shelf and Sylvain's Deadly Scenes for making me, for pushing me to make this video, and Sylvain for creating this deck. Bye bye!